How's it going, guys? In this video, I want to show you how to quickly compress a bass guitar to kind of level off the low end and really just let it sit better in a mix so it's not all over the place and add just a solid foundation to your mix. As usual, hit the link in the description for my free reverb cheat sheet if you haven't done that already, and drop a comment, let me know what you think about those settings. So let's get to it. So first, I'll play you the uncompressed bass signal so you can hear what it sounds like. Alright, so whenever I'm mixing a bass, especially when I'm compressing it, the thing that I'm thinking about is consistency. And that's the hardest part, consistency in the low end and on the really powerful instruments is just the hardest part of a mix to me. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. So the things I'm listening for are the transients on the bass and then the sustain of it. Those are really the two places that I'm most interested in when I'm doing this. So what I will do is I will, have the bass player, they'll be sound checking or whatever, or we'll be playing along, and I will compress it too much as a starting place so that I can exaggerate the attack and release of the compressor. So let's just do that for a second. Alright, so what you notice quickly is how changing the attack and release, especially I feel like the attack on this bass, can really make the transients go all over the place. If we, clamp down on it really fast, then the bass is really choked, but it's also it's doing a lot of moving. It feels like it's, jumping out at you too much at different points, especially if the release is too slow or it's too fast. It's just kind of all over the place. And so I really don't have any settings to give you, but what I do say is do exactly that and find the point for the tempo of your song, for the player, for their dynamic range, and find that point that the bass really starts living with the compressor and they work together. You don't want to be fighting it the whole time, because what will happen is when the bass player digs in a lot, it'll just drop. The compressor will absolutely just slam it down, and that's going to sound bad pretty much no matter what, because as soon as they let off of it, it'll be right back in your face, and it'll be just dynamically all over the place, and that's no good. So what I'll show you now, we've done that. The way that I will actually compress the bass is take the settings that I have here. What I just kind of landed on, I felt like was a good balance of consistency. It was 30 milliseconds and a release of 95 milliseconds. That's definitely not prescriptive. That's something we have to find out every time someone plays bass. But what I'll do is I will bring the threshold down, and I like for the bass to be living in around, 3 or 4 dB of compression at all times. Obviously they're going to move. Obviously they're going to not just stay there. But I think whenever we have that, we're really have the signal living in a place that's just consistent. And it'll really make for a solid foundation. So let's try that. So we have that, and our makeup gain is at 4 dB, so let's take it off and on. So again, compressing in this way, the place that I notice it the most is in the low end. Whenever we turn the compressor off, the dynamics are a little bit all over the place. Not terrible, but the low end isn't as solid. It's not as focused to me, and I feel like having a compressor set up in this way is just as powerful as having a good EQ setting. So let's listen to it in the whole mix, and we'll call it quits. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Give this a shot and tell me if this is how you compress, if this is your thought process. This is just mine, and I just thought I'd share it with you. So thanks. I'll see you guys in the next one.